I'm here at WSIS Forum 2012 with Francis Gurry, Director General of WIPO. Welcome, Mr. Gurry.
Thank you.
I would like to start our interview by asking you about the participation of WIPO in the WSIS Forum 2012 and to put it in a more informal way, what's in it for WIPO?
Yeah, well, look, a lot, because information society is about information. And broadly speaking, what WIPO does, what WIPO does, is provide a system for incentivizing the production of new information. Now, whether that new information is cultural creations, music, books, literature, films, all of which are being expressed now in digital formats and distributed via the internet or technology. And ICT has a big influence on the way in which technology is generated these days, produced and used. So there's a lot in it for us. We, as an organization, see ICT as a major changer of the way in which content, if you like, is produced and distributed and shared around the world.
Right. Well, WIPO is very much identified with the issue of copyright,
yes,
although it's not the only issue that
yes,
it deals with.
Yeah.
And there has been a lot written and talked about the way copyright interacts with questions of advancement of the digital technology.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you a couple of positive examples of how this has happened, but also what have been the tensions around this issue.
Sure. Well, look, let me start with a story, if I may. In the 19th century, when the telegraph was invented, Henry Thoreau said, they're building a telegraph from Texas to Maine, but maybe Texas and Maine have nothing to say to each other. And that illustrates the importance of content. You can have the distribution mechanism, you can have the technology, but you have to have content. And we have the creative industries which are responsible, of course, for the generation and distribution of our content, if you like, music, film, literature. And what is happening in that world is that the method of expressing content is migrating, of course, from analog formats to digital formats. And in so doing, the way in which the business models were developed for the exploitation, if you like, development and exploitation of creative content have changed completely. So once we distributed a book or a CD, or a video, and you were able to collect part of the value for the exchange and distribute it to the author or to the content providers. Now, of course, in the internet, when that just is distributed all around the world without any containers, we need to re-express the business architecture that was developed for the creative industries in the analog world into new formats in the digital world. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's neither. It's just how technology advances, and as technology advances, business models have to adapt to those technological advances. Does copyright impede the ICTs and the information society? Not at all. As I said, you have to have content. If you don't have content, why have you got the technologies of communication? Because there's not much to communicate. So you need to find a way socially to be able to stimulate the creation of new content, but also you need to be able to find a way to give a dignified economic existence to musicians, performers, writers, composers, all of those who enrich our lives actually with the creative industries.
Right, and since you mentioned content, as you know, the WSIS 2012 is not only a stock-taking conference, but also a conference that aims to look forward past the 2015 landmark concerning the achievement of Millennium Development Goals.
Yes.
So the question would be, how does WIPO feel it is inscribed in this future scaping?
Well, the creative industries on our studies, economic analyses, across about 31 countries now, very diverse countries, a range of countries. The creative industries are responsible on average for about 5.4% of gross domestic product and about 5.2% of total employment. So these are major economic sectors and major generators of employment, and we have to preserve those. Now, as we approach 2015 and post-2015, I think what we see is that the developing countries, in particular, have traditionally been content rich but distribution poor. Let me give you an example. The Nigerian film industry is the biggest film industry in the world in terms of the production of the number of of feature films. They produce more feature films than any other industry, any other country in the world. They don't sell nearly as much, in total sales as Hollywood. But they're a major producer, and the second major producer, by the way, is Bollywood.
Right.
Is India. So developing countries are not at all behind insofar as cultural content is concerned. They are very, very rich in cultural creativity. They perhaps have not had as good access to distribution networks around the world, and that's what the information society can bring, and that's what post-2015 we will be looking at, how to improve the participation of the developing countries in global markets for their creative products.
Mr. Francis Gurry, thank you very much. We look forward to hearing soon from you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.